Assalamualaikum Dr. Zulkifli, we are from Group 5. Today we are going to present about Istihsan, the doctrine of juristic preference in Islamic law. My name is Karinisa binti Muhammad and my metric number is A21B2527. Firstly, I will share the introduction of Istihsan. In Istihsan divided into two parts, which is agree primary sources and non-agree secondary sources of law. The primary sources are Al-Quran, Sunnah, Ijma' and Qiyas, while the secondary sources are Istishab, Istihsan, Uruf, Satu Zara'i and Masalih Masalah. All scholars agree in using the Al-Quran and Sunnah as just sources of Islamic law, while some ulama agree and disagree with the sources such as Uruf, Istihsan, Istishab, Masalih Masalah, Satu Zara'i and Amal Ahli Madinah. Those scholars who accepted Istihsan is one of way to find the best solution in the public interest, while some scholars who reject the argument of Istihsan, and if Istihsan is allowed, this can pave the ways towards the use of the mind without restriction, where it is prone to errors in setting the law. This is because the law will be made based on last and thought, while the one who has the right to make the law is Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. The definition of Istihsan in terms of language is to consider something's good or something that happen a person likes and tends towards it, even is looked down up by other else. The word of Istihsan from Al-Hus means good and Al-Kub means bad. In addition, the meaning of Istihsan in terms of terminology has various definition given by the mazhab. The definition of the term by mazhab Hanafi is change things that come from qiyas then change to stronger qiyas. Qiyas, which is changed to the proposition of the nas, but the nas seems to contradict the clear and real nas. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum to Dr. Zulkifli. My name is Nur Nabila Huday binti Muhammad. My metric number A2A12875. Today, I want to present the definition Istihsan. From Mandak Maliki, the definition of Istihsan is choose to lift up a proposition and allow it to be contradicted because there are other strong proposition, while the Mandak Hanbali is turn of terminology is turn in charge a problem for problem comparable because there are specific proposition. Last but not least, the definition other view from scholar define the Istihsan as switching from qiyas dalil to qiyas fully. They are fully origin or organized method based on the proposition. They could transition. Thank you. I can pass the next.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Nur Hasni Fazida binti Rosli. 821-82727 want to share about identify of Istihsan. Istihsan divided to 6 parts, which is Istihsan based on nas, Ijma', Uruf, Darurah, Maslahah and Qiyas non-real. Istihsan based on nas, the thing which in general it indicate a prohibition or injunction, but then comes another nas which excludes some things. For example, fasting is not void when eating forgetfully. The law is excluded from the general method based on hadith. Number 2, Istihsan based on Ijma', generated after all scholars have said that the problem is contrary to the general method of similar problems. Other situations of the scholar are silent and do not shorten the society thus. It is against the method set. For example, it is not valid to sell rating or reservation if compared to a sale and purchase contract because the thing that is contracted does not exist at the same time of the contract. As a result of selling necessary ratings in society, scholars think it is good and should be legal. Istihsan based on uruf, occasion problems that become the practice and habit of society and it is against general methods. For example, according to the Fiqh on the Hanafi school, it is not necessary to endow property that is easily transferable because it shows that it is not permanent.
My name is Nurul Mazatul Izani binti Abdul Hafiz. Metric number A21A3002. I will continue presenting about identification of Istihsan. Number 4. Istihsan based on Darurah. Darurah that caused the mujtahid to leave qiyas or common law to others' law to reject difficulty among the people for their benefit. Exception of juzi from the origin of kulli or transfer from kulli law common to Istihsan. Exception. The use of Istihsan included something from the proposition or general. 5. Istihsan based on maslahah, to safeguard the interest or welfare of muamalah in society. In fact, it resembles the second category of Istihsan with Ijma'. And the last one, Istihsan based on qiyas not real. The situation occurs with a problem that merges between two qiyas, where one is obviously his illah and the other is unclear. This type of istihsan means moving from Qiyas Jali to Qiyas Khafi, as there is a dalil that requires the transfer.
My name is Niknur Izzati bint Abdullah. My metric number is 8218269. I will continue to explain about juristic preference in Islamic law. The Islamic law system covers every area of human life. This is important to answer any confusion that arises in the process journey of human life, so that we can continue living based on the correct Islamic law in any aspect such as munakahat, legislation, moralities, and others. In Islamic law, there are 4 sources agreed by the mujtahid scholars, namely Al-Quran, As-Sunnah, Ijma, and Qiyas. Al-Quran, the role of Quran is to present a human in a general form in content the law and was narrated by the Prophet Muhammad through his hadith, then by the scholar. In addition, the Quran contains direct prohibition and instruction that are used as a determination from Allah without any interpretation. To issue a law based on the Quran, the scholar need to study the reason for the revelation of the verse and study it in terms of naskah and mansukh. As-Sunnah. As-Sunnah is the second source of legislation after the Quran. Although the revelation of the Quran is complete and perfect, but human beings still need the Sunnah as a guide to life. This is because Al-Sunnah plays a very important role beside Al-Quran. They should always refer to As-Sunnah in dealing with any problem of life as they refer to Al-Quran. This is because the two are interdependent and inseparable. Next is Ijma. Ijma is considered one of the sources of Islamic law because its truth is highly reliable. This is due to the fact that scholars believe and peers are unlikely to agree on something wrong and sinful. Qiyas in terms of language mean measurement or equalization according to Dalil Akil. The text of Al-Quran and As-Sunnah do not detail all the things that happen in the world. If qiyas is not considered as a legal premise, there must be many new problems that cannot be determined legally. Commandment qiyas can be divided into 4 categories, namely the thing they are allowed to eat, the thing they are allowed to, the same nature between the two, and the original law that is clarified with the text. For example, the thing that is compared to it is alcohol. The thing that is compared to tapa water is intoxication. The same nature between the two is intoxication. And the original law is haram, so that the law of drinking alcohol is haram.
My name is Nur Nasuha binti Ismail. My metric number is A21A2880. I want to continue to explain about Istihsan. Al-Karki defines Istihsan as follows. Istihsan is when one takes a decision on a certain case different from that on which similar cases have been decided on the basis of its precedents for a reason which is stronger than one found in similar cases and which requires departure from those cases. The meaning of Istihsan in the scholar's view among others. First, Ibn Arabi, leaving the will of the proposition with means of exception and grand rukhsah because of different laws in some respect. Second, Imam Ash-Shatibi, taking a benefit which is juzi in response proposition that are global in nature. Third, Ibn Rushd, throw away the qiyas that bring to the inner advantages law and move on to the other sides. Because of that meaning, affect the law and claims law specifics to the position that Istihsan divided to 6 types, which are, the first one is Istihsan based on nas, occurs in a problem that has a particular nas pointing to a law that is contrary to the law required by the proposition or the general method prescribed for a similar problem. Second, Istihsan based on ijma, occurs on issues given fatwas by mujtahids which a different law than the general law on issues comparable to it, or mujtahid remain silent or do not disbelieve in what the public does contrary to the provisions of the established general method. Third, Istihsan based on maslahah, occurs on problems that are punished differently from the law which generally occurs on similar problems because of the existence of maslahah. Fourth, Istihsan based on darurah, it occurs on punished problem differently from the law which generally occurs on a similar problem because of the existence of a state of emergency. Fifth, Istihsan based on qiyas kafi, it occurs on problems that are punished differently from the law that generally occurs on similar problems because of the existence of more hidden qiyas, and according to the mujtahid, wearing such qiyas is more reasonable and appropriate. The last one is Istihsan based on uruf. This applies to problems that are the practice and habit of society and it is outwardly contrary to the general method.
Solution of Istihsan. Using Istihsan as evidence means issuing a law that contrary to the laws of Quran and Hadith. If a mujtahid can issue a law that has no text in the Quran and Hadith based on everything that considered good in their mind, then of course the public can also do so, while the consensus of scholars state that the public should not do so. to the evidence of this hadith and the purpose of al-Istihsan itself, it can be concluded that Istihsan can be used as an argument, consensus argument among the example of the use of al-Istihsan based on ijma' is that it is not valid to sell. Salam is compared to buying and selling. This is because the thing that is contracted does not yet exist when the contract occurs in the contract.
The remainder of the drink of the bird is sacred. The bird does not drink with its mouth, even using its beak, which does not have saliva mixed with unclean flesh. The wastewater drunk by wild bird is halal in accordance with the original law. According to the mujtahid, wearing such qiyas is more reasonable and appropriate. The remains of eagle and other snatching birds are not najis, because the animal eat and drink using their beaks, and beaks are sacred because they are not mixed with saliva.
My name is Muhammad Ahmad Kalbin Mahari. My matrix number is A21A2619. In conclusion, Istihsan is a concept that used by mujtahid while drafting a legislation to address societal issue. It is different from qiyas, which is qiyas is a similarity in law from two separate occurrences. It is only thesis that some academic disagree with. Some who accepted the Istihsan is Imam Malik, some Hanafi scholars and some Hanbali scholars, while who rejected the Istihsan is Imam Shafi'i, some Hanbali scholars, and so on. Istihsan not just based on mujtahid will, but it need a strong propositional backing. Al-Quran, Ijma' and Uruf can be the evidence, and Istihsan can ease the problem of mankind.
Next, the evidence that can be utilized to a new legislation is Nas Al-Quran, Ijma', Uruf, Maslahah, and Darurah.